First point is the answer to your question. Can citizen lead Europe's future energy strategy? The answer is yes, yes, yes. We've been waiting for this for 20 years. And the big energy monopolies are beginning to die. They don't want to die, and they will do everything they can, and they will use all the power they have, and it's not little, to prevent citizen consumers, SMEs, to compete with them. To compete not selling electrons, but just producing their own energy. So we are here today because we want to see what we can do to ensure that we are guaranteed or granted our rights of citizen to produce our own energy like it should be if we want to save the planet and our survival on this planet. So the first thing I want to say is we should stop talking about low carbon Europe. This low carbon is old concept. The Commission started talking about low carbon Europe when they were supposed to start talking about post carbon Europe. The difference is not quantitative, the difference is a quality of the approach, because if it is only low carbon, then all you have to do is to just use a little bit less of fossil fuels, just use a little bit less of nuclear, use it more efficiently, and that's it. If you have to go post-carbon, you have to start thinking differently. And this has already happened, this is why I wanted to show a few slides. This is already, sorry, where is the magic wand? Okay, so I guess, okay, look at this graphic. This is an official graphic from the Italian energy market price maker. It's an official authority of the Italian government called GME. On Easter Monday's days, 8th and 9th of April this year, in Italy, in Sicily, the price of electricity from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock was 0. Okay, then we go to the next one. One can say, okay, but this only happened one day, it was Easter, the offices were closed, the factories were closed, it's an unrepeatable circumstance. Mistake, this was repeated, this happened again for all the south of Italy, all of the 6 Italian southern regions, from 12 to 6 to 4 o'clock on the 2nd and the 3rd of May 2012. So it's beginning to be a bit more of a coincidence. That reversed, dear Monique, the consumers, the price of electricity in Italy. So now electricity in Italy is more expensive at night than during the day. Why? Because at night Enel has to power with gas, coal and fossil fuels, so they have to pay for the fuel, so it's expensive. Instead, during daytime, when the sun is shining and the photovoltaic very good point. The photovoltaic systems are in full blast, then the electricity is cheaper. So much for all these big argument of the old thinking monopolies who are saying, well, the consumers are paying all this money for renewable energies, this is an assisted market. That's not true, it's exactly the opposite. The market is much more expensive, and this is already happening in Italy, when the fossil fuels are powering it. When there is the sun and the fossil fuels are not in the game, then the price is lower. So now in Italy the price is lower at midday than at midnight. And why is that? And why that happened only this year? Because only this is the year when the photovoltaic installed capacity went online. So this didn't happen last year, because last year the photovoltaic capacity was only 2,000 gigawatts, but then thanks to the feed-in tariffs during the winter, the photovoltaic capacity went 5 times up. So now the photovoltaic installed capacity in Italy is 13,000 megawatts, 13 gigawatts, and that is making the difference. And that is meaning that Enel is shutting down 3 power stations. in Brindisi, in Porto Tolle, coal and gas-fired power stations, they are shutting them down. So the revolution is already happening, but they know that following this trend, they are going to die. So they don't want to die, and they are coming out with silly proposals like that we should do drilling in the Adriatic Sea because we need oil, we need gas. You remember in Italy there was a plan to get back to nuclear, and the nuclear lobby is very strong also in Brussels. But let me say one thing on which I will conclude. The main point I'm trying to make here is that now we can influence the decision-making process in Brussels. Now we can influence the decision-making process in the cities because we have the Covenant of Mayors. We've got to have a post-carbon strategy because it is possible. I've just shown that it is possible. The photovoltaic capacity in Italy is only 5% of the electricity consumed right now, but it was 1% last year, and now you can see that we are reaching to a place in which we are reaching a moment in which the consumers, the citizens can produce their own energy. So how are the monopolies reacting? Red tape, bureaucracy. They are making it very, very difficult. For instance, in Italy, because of these figures, they are making now very difficult, even for a family, to apply for a PV on their roof. And that is creating a lot of outcry in Italy. There are demonstrations in the streets because of that, because Enel is writing the support scheme of the Italian government to prevent the citizens. There are already 380,000 citizens who became producers of electricity. Now, and this is my conclusion, what is the main point I'm trying to make is that the insurance guarantee that this doesn't happen is the construction sector, and it is the cooperatives. We've got to stop this nonsense of desert tech, these pharaonic big projects taking 200 square meters of the Sahara Desert and putting concentrated solar power there with billions and billions of fundings coming from the usual suspects, the big financial companies in the world. This is not the way the third industrial revolution is going to happen. This is not the way the citizens are going to be empowered. The citizens are going to be empowered if the state let them, the national states and the European Commission encourages them to exploit the existing technologies to do this, to do power, to do their own power like they are already doing with Facebook, with YouTube for the information. This revolution has already happened in information, now it's happening in energy. Somebody doesn't want to die because of that, like the big major corporations of information died when the blogosphere came about. Well, we have to make sure that they change or die, and we've got to push the European Commission to go for a not low carbon anymore, but post-carbon strategy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your vision of the revolution. Very interesting. We have around 15 minutes till we